I'm pretty sure you're shocked by that title.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so we're gonna talk about the starting lineup going into opening night because I do have a take on it. I definitely have a take on the San Antonio Spurs not starting Joshua Primo. Now, before we talk about that really quick, if you guys want to support the channel, clanthemerchfan.com, link in the description. Speaking of Primo, there's some Threemo. If you guys want to support, the link is there. Or become a Patreon YouTube member, $2 per month, and that's there as well. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about it. So what to expect from Spurs opening night starting lineup? Shout out to Tom Petrini, love me some Tom Petrini. But as we can see here, more than likely, okay, and Pop has basically already said this is going to be the case until something changes. But as it stands right now, the lineup is Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, and Jakob Poeltl. Now, I am not angry with this whatsoever, and I have a reason for not being angry with this. Now, you guys know I love Josh Primo, and I've said over and over again that I think that he could be a starting point guard, but I really thought about it, and I sat back and I said, you know what? It's probably much better for him if he comes off the bench. And it has nothing to do with his skill level. It has nothing to do with maturity. It has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that him coming off the bench, he'll actually be able to just do his thing, okay? Now, I want to go ahead and make this clear. I do believe when it's all said and done, maybe in the next week or so, and that's just my hot take, I think Josh Primo is going to be getting more minutes than Trey Jones. I think that you can get more usage out of him, more utility out of him, and I think when it's all said and done, it's going to work out pretty well. Now, this is why I'm really content with this team right now. First and foremost, Trey Jones starting, it makes sense not because he's the better player, I think necessarily. I think it makes sense because he is a initiator. He's a decent facilitator, and right now, as it stands, how the Spurs have been doing things, the majority of the preseason, like preseason 3 and 4, game 3 and 4, I believe, they've just been playing through Keldon Johnson, like nothing else. Play through Keldon Johnson, play through Devin Vassell, and everyone else get out the way. Now, I don't think that that's gonna be able to hold up, especially as the season goes on. I just don't necessarily think they'll be able to just carry the load every single night like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that they'll average pretty decent, but as far as like trying to, be competitive in the fourth quarter and stuff, me personally, I just believe that their games are too limited where it's not going to be able to like withstand an entire game. That's just my take. I could be completely wrong, but like I said before, Keldon Johnson has completely mastered the catch and shoot, and he's basically mastered the drive. So I think that he has like a game that could be pretty sustainable. But just as far as like, is he going to be able to put the team on his back every single night? I don't know if that's the case. I have no idea, but it doesn't matter. Okay. We don't really care about that. We know what type of role him and Devin Vassell were going to play or going to play in the near future. Okay. When we're actually back on top. Now, this is why I absolutely love this team. And this is why I don't think it really matters. Joshua Primo, I think that unless you're just not paying attention, I think that most of us can agree that he has the most talent as far as offensive talent on this team. Okay, can we start there? That he has most in his bag? I think we all can start there. Now, here's the thing. This is what's beautiful about this team, okay? Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell, they don't have huge egos. Like, they have no egos whatsoever. I absolutely love that about them. Now, the thing about that is they're not going to necessarily take shots just out of I don't know, I'm older than you, or I have a few more years on my belt, so I'm not gonna, pass you the ball. That is not the character of those two guys. If Josh Primo comes into his own, these two, Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell, will be more than happy to just take a back seat and allow him to go to work. Those are the type of players these guys are. These are the type of characters that we have on this team. So in my opinion, I think Josh Primo coming off the bench will be ideal right now, especially if the Spurs can just go in and see what can we get out of Keldon, what can we get out of Devin Vassell being the 1 and 2 guy. And then as time goes on, I don't think it's really going to matter. I think that these two guys will eventually, and this is my hot take, they will eventually take a backseat offensively to Josh Primo. And we actually ended up seeing that in the preseason game 5, in which these two guys, they struggled, a little bit, and they took a complete backseat. Like when Josh Primo was out there with them, they weren't, trying to ask for the ball or force him to get them the ball. They just wanted the best available shot. And at that time, Josh Primo was the one with the hot hand. I don't think that these guys care whatsoever. Now, was that the case last year? It wasn't. Okay, can I say something? I'm gonna say it, okay? I have not said this, or maybe I said it maybe on a live stream before, and I don't bring it up a lot because I knew that if I brought it up, people would just say like I'm hating and I don't know what I'm talking about. But there's something that I noticed last season, okay? And this isn't me just like throwing this out there just to be a hater, just to knock on this player, okay? But it is something I noticed, and I think that this is why I'm so excited about this season and the players that we have right now, okay? Can I just throw this out there? Listen, DeJounte Murray. One thing that I noticed is no matter who had the hot hand, DeJounte Murray finished the game. And I know that going back and looking back, when he actually wins the game or he hit big shots, we can sit back and just say, oh, he hit the shot, what's the problem? But I think that the team dynamic, I just feel like it was a little off. And it happened over and over again. It's not something that just happened once. I noticed it so many times. There was this constant complaint amongst Spurs fans that Popovich was taking guys out when they had the hot hand, or we weren't going to certain guys when they had the hot hand. But I noticed it. Like, it was quite a few games where even Derek White would get hot at the end of games and he's basically about to finish it. And instead of just feeding the hot hand, even DeJounte Murray, who might have missed 2 or 3 shots in a row, he would go ahead and take the last shot. No one cared because he made most of the shots, or at least a good majority of them, for us to sit back and say, oh man, he's him, right? But at the same time, it just felt off to me. Did it with Devin Vassell. I noticed it with Keldon. Like, these guys would get hot and it was obvious that it's time to go back to them, but yet and still he would take the last shots. And I just say all that to say this wasn't like me trying to hate on DJ, okay? I can care less. What I really care about is the fact that we don't have that right now. I don't think Devin Vassell is that type of player. I don't think Keldon Johnson is that type of player. They are going to feed whoever is hot. This team is very low ego, and no matter how good of a player, and I think Keldon Johnson is going to be a really good player this year, but no matter how good of a player he is, he's going to be willing to pass up the rock if it means that we can get some better shots available. And Devin Vassell has even showed some of his facilitation skills as well during the preseason. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, is that Josh Primo, I think he will shine. And I don't think it's going to have to be forced whatsoever. I think it's just going to naturally happen. And when it's all said and done, I think we're going to see quite a few drives during this season where Devin Vassell and Keldon both just give it up to the young Josh Primo and let him go to work, because all of these guys are low ego. And the thing is, I praise Primo so much. Primo's the exact same way. I've noticed it so many times. I don't know if you guys noticed this in the preseason, but Primo got hot. You just talk about game 5 in particular. Primo got hot. He did his thing, but then he would make mistakes because he's young, right? He would turn the ball over, or, he would get a cold hand. And what did he immediately do? He passed up the rock. He didn't try to force anything. He didn't overly exert himself. He said, okay, I'm messing up a little bit. Time to pass it off. So I'm going to absolutely have a blast watching this team, because there's so many guys with low egos, and it feels just like a Spurs team. It's a young, true Spurs team, and I'm really looking forward to it. So just wanted to throw that out there. As far as Primo not starting, I think it's probably for the best right now. Let him come off the bench, put up as many shots as he wants, just lead the bench unit. And as time goes on, more than likely, I think he'll just shine, and they'll probably put him in the starting lineup. But like I said, it won't matter. He'll get plenty of minutes, kind of similar to like Manu, right? Like Manu got plenty of minutes even though he was coming off the bench, so it doesn't matter. All right, well, I'll get with you guys later, man. Just wanted to throw that out there and talk about this really quick. I will be going live, so please join. We're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be fun. Until next time, bye.